Hari Om everyone, I welcome all of you to today's Gita class where we will contemplate Bhagavad Gita Shloka 8.6 and 8.7. I'd request Diya and Disha to please chant, and I'd request the rest of us to please fold our hands, close our eyes, keep our back straight, and chant along with Diya and Disha but on mute. You can start now.
यं यं वापि स्मरन् भावं त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरं तं तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः. Whatever one remembers upon giving up the body at the time of death, O son of Kunti, one attains that state, being always absorbed in such contemplation. tasmāt sarveṣhu kāleṣhu anusmara yudhya ca mayyarpita-mano-buddhir evaiṣhyasyasanśhayam. Therefore, always remember me and also do your duty of fighting the war. With mind and intellect surrendered to me, you will definitely attain me. Of this, there is no doubt.
Now we'll listen to the story that Namit will be narrating. It's a very exciting story. Namit,
To all of you, so let's start with the story related to the shloka.
Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, I'll share it. So you might have just seen the shloka meaning and you might have your guesses about what the shloka is. I'll assist you in knowing what the shloka is really about through the story. So let's not waste any time and start off. So this is the story of Jada Bharata. So Jada Bharata was a king. He was a king of a kingdom. He was a very prosperous king, and he was ruling his kingdom also quite well. Then once he was in a forest. He was walking in a forest. Suddenly he saw a deer fall in water. And there was a nearby river in the forest, and the deer fell into the water. Then what happened is he took it, and even the deer's mother also jumped into the water. Then he saved the deer and brought it back. He took care of it, and he took it to his kingdom and took care of it and was constantly thinking about it. It would also be roaming around because it's a deer, right? So it would be roaming around in different places. So he was scared if it didn't arrive by the evening. He was feeling really nervous. What happened? What happened? Because of this, he left his family, friends, and his children. He left all of them. Stop thinking about them. He also was a devotee of Lord Vishnu and also forgot about Lord Vishnu. And many years passed, and as everyone, when his death approached him, uh, during the time of his death, he was constantly thinking about the deer. Where's my deer? What happened to it? He was constantly thinking about it. And then he passed away. The next lifetime, he was born as a deer itself. So you might get the question, why, how, all of that we are going to see in the shloka, which is going to be explained by Manya.
So to fully understand how the story is connected to the shloka and the meaning of the shloka itself, we'll have to first quickly recap what we learned the previous class. We understood in short how our actions, which is our karma, it leaves certain impressions which are samskaras. And then they lead to vasanas or tendencies, which leads to a pattern called vritti. Now let's understand this with an example that will fully get us recapped and all set and ready for the class. So let's take an example of a gulab jamun, a very popular sweet that we all know of. So you are very new to gulab jamun. Let's assume we've not tasted gulab jamun ever. So today is the first time we say, here, have gulab jamuns, because someone's in a really good mood. So you just take the gulab jamun, have it, and you experience the sheer joy of having a gulab jamun because it's so tasty. Now, this leaves certain impressions in your mind that gulab jamuns are very tasty, they're really nice, and that makes me very happy. Now, that creates a tendency that, oh, I want to have gulab jamun. So, next time you see a shop and you'll go there and ask them, do you have gulab jamun? Then you go ask them, get some gulab jamuns and have it. So, this get into this tendency of having gulab jamuns. And because you're getting so fond of gulab jamun, now this becomes a pattern that you keep having gulab jamuns, you get happy, you have gulab jamuns, so on. You keep having this gulab jamun, you get this experience, then you have it again, you get a similar experience. So this gets into a pattern. So that's how the four components, karma, samskara, vasana, and vritti, form our memory or chitta. And this determines a lot in our life. How we interact, what we think, and how our actions are performed. So all of this is based on this fundamentally, the chitta. Now, with this recap, let us understand how the story of Jadabharata holds a very valuable lesson. So, we saw in the story that this person had thought of this deer at the moment of death, and in the next birth, he was born as a deer. So, why is this at all important? And how at all can we ever implement this in our life? So, do we have to wait till our moment of death? First of all, predict when it is, and then wait till that moment, and then think of something that we want to be in our next life. For instance, in the second shloka, they tell us that we'll have to think about Krishna. Krishna tells us that you'll have to think about me. So, do we have to first of all predict the moment of death, then wait for it, and at that moment think of Krishna? Is that what we are supposed to do? Let us understand. So before that, I have a question. Who wants to answer this question? Only one lucky person. Yes, Snigdha. I saw Snigdha raise her hand first. So Snigdha, please unmute. Now, the very, very difficult question that needs a lot of thinking analysis is that, when is your birthday?
My birthday is on April 1st.
Oh, wow. That was really quick. Okay. So let's just imagine that today it's April 1st. Today is April 1st, and Snigdha, you just woke up. So what's the first thing that you remember when you wake up?
My birthday.
Right. And it's also possibly because that's also the last thing you remembered while sleeping, that it's your birthday. You kept thinking about it the whole day, and that's what you thought about before sleeping. That it's going to be my birthday tomorrow, and I'm going to wake up and it's my birthday. So you just wake up, and all that somehow happens to be your first thought as well. So how does this happen, and how is this example even related to our shloka? This not only happens with our birthdays, it happens when you have an exam. And it's not only necessary that it's always an event. It can be different things. Whatever you've thought of while sleeping, you usually tend to remember that when you wake up. So how is this even related to our shloka? It's very simple.
It's like
So
what you thought in like the 4 steps.
excellent, you got it. Now let us understand that in the deeper. So before sleeping, you're conscious, and when you wake up, you're conscious again. So what happens in between is you're not necessarily conscious. You are in the sleep state where you don't even know. You're not even aware that I'm alive, or like I'm Snigdha and I'm alive. and tomorrow is going to be my birthday. You're not aware of any of this. So can we say this is actually similar to the state of death, where you're not exactly aware of yourself as a person, that I am Snigdha or I am Manya. I'm not aware of this, and I'm not conscious about what is happening in my life, or who am I, which grade am I studying in, what exams do I have to prepare for. We have no idea about all of this. So we sleeping is somehow similar to our state of death. So you can relate to this shloka in the sense that you remember whatever you think of the night before you sleep, in the night before you sleep, that's the same thought that pops up when you wake up. Now let's come to the most exciting part of this story. Tejas, if you have a question, I feel we'll somehow answer to them in the coming slides. But if we don't, can we take it in the end?
No, I just had something to add to this. That's all.
Okay, yeah, please do.
This actually, the thing is, my father, father was the first person who told me about this. When you are sleeping, when you are dreaming, your atma, it goes up to wherever it meets to with the Brahman and everything. And what you are dreaming is actually what your soul is watching the brain do when you're sleeping. So actually, it's out of the body, but like it's not completely dead, but it's at least seeing what you do. It's just watching like that.
Excellent. So I put it in this way. So when you say you go meet Brahman, it's actually right, because you at that point don't have this feeling that I am this body, I am this mind, and I am this intellect. You actually become one with Brahman in the sense you realize, or you are one with Brahman, because what remains is just your awareness, and that awareness is Brahman. That knowledge that where there's no thinking, there's no analyzing that's happening, but you just exist. That itself is Brahman, where there's just pure bliss. That is Brahman. So in that sense, you go and meet Brahman.
Yeah.
Only one difference, Tejas, is when the right knowledge is not in you, then you are not aware that that is the reality. So the realization can happen only when you are awake and aware, like how you are doing now. So without that awareness, when you sleep, you may think that, oh, I slept, I woke up. But when you sleep, when you sleep with the right understanding, then it becomes part of the reality. So that is called as realization. So as we go further, we can explore that question further, but let's continue with what Manya has to say.
So now let's all watch this very interesting, very exciting short movie that Vijayji's found us. Before that, I just want to reshare to make sure that I've also shared my audio. Like, yeah. Right. So please show me a thumbs up once the video starts playing, if both the video and the audio is clear.
Manya, we're not able to hear you.
So before we continue, I'd want to ask just two lucky people, very lucky people, that what is the main thing that they understood from the video, or what was your first understanding? What were your first thoughts? Yes, Snigdha and Mrinal.
So what I understood from the video is that whenever you yeah, there'll be two perspectives of how you do things in your daily life. So there is one good perspective and one bad perspective, like they showed in the video. And if you whichever you follow, it impacts the way you are, and it impacts how your health, your body, and like your mentality and all that. So that's what I understood in the video.
Very nice, Snigdha. Now let's listen to Mrinal.
I understood that small choices make a big difference in your life. As here it's written, he chose a bad routine. It can happen in two perspectives: in a bad way or a good way. As it has shown, as it is shown in the video, in a bad perspective, you can quit all your exercises, everything, and start eating bad food and all, which will ruin your health. And in the good perspective, you can start eating healthy food, exercise. These are all small decisions, but they'll make a big difference in your life.
Very nice, Mrinal. So we saw how his small actions, they get into this pattern and how it affects his life altogether. Now let's get into this deeper on how it's related to this shloka that we are learning today. So we have this thought, let's say, that I want to have food. So there's this thought, and that is, we have that thought in this very moment. Now, what happens is when you get that thought into an action, the next moment you have is when you're having food. So you think of food and you're having food in the next moment. So that's also how in this moment, the kind of thoughts you have, it affects your next moment when it gets into an action. So how is this even related to our shloka? Because our shloka spoke about lives. So Jada Bharata, he had this life, and in the end moment he thought of a deer, and in the next life he was a deer. So this shloka, on the surface level, though it feels that it's for something, when we think of the lives and reincarnation, you can also apply the learnings in the very in our life, day-to-day life, wherein each and every second is impacted on what we did the previous second or the day, and so on. So this moment you have a thought. So your thoughts, the kind of thoughts you have this moment, determine the actions you take in your next moment. That this gets us to this question as to why is Krishna in the shloka asking Arjuna to think of Krishna, always throughout the life. Why should we keep thinking about Krishna, or why should we even at the end of our life, in the moment of death, why should we even at that moment think of Krishna? Why is that important? Let's understand that. For that, we'll have to understand the root of karma. So I have a question to ask all of you. Why do we do all the things that we do? So let's say I come home and have a scoop of ice cream. Why do I have it? Because that gives me some kind of happiness. I believe that me having ice cream makes me happy, makes me very makes me really happy. So me watching a movie, that makes me happy, so I do that. Me reading some books, that makes me happy, so I do that. So everything we do in life is for happiness. But we all know that the happiness that we receive from these materialistic objects are very momentary. They come and they go, they keep fading. So for that, we need to understand the root of karma. So why do we have this desire for all these material objects? That starts with ignorance. So what are we ignorant about? We are ignorant because we have this feeling of incompleteness. So we are ignorant of the fact that I am complete. I don't need anything to complete me. And what does this feeling of incompleteness lead to? It leads to actions such as having a scoop of ice cream, or reading a book, or watching a movie. And these actions are nothing but our desires. Now, these actions, desires, all our thoughts, they lead to a fruit. So I have ice cream. Now that gives me some momentary happiness. And me reading a book, I learn something from it. And that too gives me some kind of happiness. But all of this happiness, we just get on this peak. So I have ice cream, I'm very happy. But the very next moment, it fades. And I have this other desire to have chocolates. I have chocolates, and there's the happiness peak. And then it comes down again the very next moment. So how do we get rid of this cycle where there's this ignorance which leads to some kind of fruit, and again I get into this action, desire, fruit? How do we get rid of this cycle? So the only way we can do this is through jnana. Only jnana can burn this karma and break the cycle. And that's how we get rid of all the stress, or all the kinds of tensions we have in life. Like, oh, I have to have ice cream. Where do I find ice cream? Or, oh, I have to study for exam. Exams are so hectic. Why do I even have to study for exams? They're so difficult. I know we have these kind of questions many times, like, who is this person who came up with exams? And why did he have to come up with exams? And why do I have to study for it now? Why can't I just play or watch a movie or do something I like? Why do I have to get into this? So we have all of these different kinds of thoughts that give us so much of this feeling or emotion that we call as stress, that we don't like. So how do we break free through this? And that is through jnana. And I'll tell you how we can get over this. There's a very simple solution. The thing is to surrender to Krishna, and to think of all the actions that we do as service to Krishna. And what is that? What do I mean by keep thinking of Krishna? To think of Krishna is to just realize your own true nature, that you are complete, that you don't need anything else to become something complete. You are already complete. You are happy. You're not getting happiness through these objects outside, like an ice cream, a book, or a movie. You get happiness because there's happiness in you. The happiness comes from within you, and that is because you're complete. And when you realize this, you become really peaceful. So how do you go about doing your daily chores as a service to Krishna? All you do is to focus on your actions. So you have an aim that I need to give an exam this month, and this is what I want to achieve. So you have this aim. Now you know, to do this, I need to do these things. So I'll have to go to school, I'll have to study, I'll have to do my homework, I'll have to revise. So you have these things. Now you just focus on these set of things that you will have to do. So that is your action. Just focus on the actions, do it, give your best, do it the best that you can possibly do, and do it happily. And once you're doing it, don't think about the fruit. By fruit, I mean the result. Just give the result. Just surrender the result. Surrender yourself and let the results be with Krishna. Just think that Krishna is going to take care of all of that. Just realize that Krishna will take care of the results. All I have to do is to perform my duties, to do my dharma, and Krishna will take care of the rest of the things. So that way you surrender to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and you just do your duties, do your actions, and that will give you a lot of peace. Will let you get out of all of the other kinds of emotions that you don't really like to have. So that's also what we're learning in the shloka, essentially, that one, what you think of is directly affecting and will influence the very next moment and the rest of your life. So it's about each and every small step determines what you do, in what are you in the next moment. So in that video that we watched, so him choosing to do his duties, him going, him exercising, him having right kind of food, having healthy food, all of this led to him being a healthy person, a happy person, and a peaceful person. On the contrary, him choosing to to do the very opposite things, like to have junk food, to keep procrastinating, to not exactly exercise, and to not exercise and have junk food. This led to him being an unhappy person, an unhealthy person, and therefore being in a very stressful or being in a very stressful environment, and himself being under so much of stress and feeling that, oh, what's this life, why is this so difficult. So it's about all these little choices you make, about the thoughts you have, that determines how you're going to be in the very next moment. And also, why think about Krishna is basically you realizing your own true nature. That is the learning that we get from both the shlokas. With that, we come to this very exciting point of our class, where we get to listen to all of you sharing your understanding, what are your ideas. But before we get into that step, I want to ask you if you have any questions. Please raise your hands first of all if you have some questions. Okay, great. So we don't have questions. Why don't you raise your hands now and we can all listen to what you understood from this shloka? Yes, Akshat.
I understood that we are supposed to do good things and we are not supposed to go behind pleasures. And the things we do, whatever we do, we should do it as a Naivedyam to Lord Krishna, and we are not supposed to think like, if I do this, can I get a prize, or will I win this thing? Or we are not supposed to think like that. We are supposed to do the work wholeheartedly.
Very nice, Akshat. It was really nice. Yes, Grihit.
You need to always do your job or duty, not others.
Very nice. Very nice, Grihit. Excellent. Yes, Snigdha.
What I understood in the shloka is that like depends on when whatever small action you do or whatever thought you have, it impacts your actions and how it can actually impact your life, like how you showed in the video. Like in one side the man was only doing bad things and he was in a really stressful surrounding, but in the other side the man was doing all good things and he was in a really positive surrounding. So whatever you do and whatever you think depends on how you act and how it impacts your life. And how how what does Krishna mean by thinking about him is basically of removing all the ignorance within us and realizing the true divine from us, is what I understood from this shloka.
Very nice, Snigdha. Excellent. Also, the video is about how every time, each and every second, you have this choice to do this or to do that. Whether you to have healthy food or to have junk food, you always have that choice, and your future depends on these little choices. What you choose. So every time you make a choice, you're drawing how your future is going to be. So you are making your path. You yourself are going to design. You yourself are going to create how your next moment is going to look like. Very nice, Nikta. Excellent. Yes, Raghavi.
Firstly, I learned that desires arise mainly because of ignorance. The ignorance that one would feel happy when they do something or they get something in particular. But the truth is that happiness is always within you, and uh, we can understand. We can get rid of this ignorance through gnana. Apart from that, from the habits, I could really associate whatever you said to the book Atomic Habits. Basically the book says that it's not the huge habits that make a difference, but the smaller ones that truly matter. I also, from the film, I was able to see that like the two people, they were able to act upon a cue, then they crave on doing that work. They they respond to that craving, and the rewards first in the short term is happiness, but in the long term the healthier person is actually growing, whereas the unhealthier person is deteriorating his health. So I was able to understand that.
Very nice, Snigdha. And also great addition onto Atomic Habits book.
Raghavi.
Oh, Raghavi. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Yes, Mrinal.
I understood that to finish a task peacefully, you have to, while doing the task, you have to take it as your dharma, that is your responsibility, and you should not worry about its result. You should take you should leave the result, you should surrender the result and or the fruit to Krishna to make it to make the task peaceful.
Very nice. Excellent, Mrinal. Yes, Tejas.
So what I understood is that small decisions lead to like big changes. Like sometimes, like one example, like how the deer was. See, imagine this line which goes up and down. The second it goes down, the person dies, like that. So the thing is, if you the life will be like you will be thinking about different things. Now, when you are at the moment of death, the idea is if you are thinking of something, it'll continue like this in whatever is going to happen next. So at least it'll either majorly impact your life or in a minor way, depending on what you're thinking. So these small things can cause big changes. One more example is, supposing by accident, but like supposing you put a pencil mark on a wall. From a distance it may not look like anything, but supposing a guest comes and they look at that pencil mark in the wall, they'll be thinking, what kind of people are this dirtying the house? So it may be a small thing, but it has consequences. It may not be a huge impact, but it does something. So everyone, including us, has to keep this in mind.
Very nice, Tejas. That was a really nice example. Yes, Sanvi and Swanandi.
Yeah, so what I understood was, before dying, we should always remember Krishna and not some useless thought, so that we can attain salvation. Instead, we should always think about good things instead of bad things, because we should know that God is always watching over us.
Very nice. So would you say just that moment where you think that death is nearing, or is it each and every moment
No,
of
each and every time we should
very
keep on thinking about God.
very nice. Excellent.
And I also understood that we should not seek pleasure in materialistic things, because we think that is happiness, but that is not actually happiness, as it does not last long. Actual happiness is when you attain peace.
Very nice. Excellent.
And I'm also here. Yes, Vanvi. I understood is that our choices will lead to our habits and finally to the personality which we have. So it's like depending upon our choice, how we can create our personality, and through which, and like I also understood that by the fruit which you said, we should surrender the fruit to Krishna, and we should only do like our duties and responsibilities. And yeah, that's it.
Very nice, Sanvi.
So the last who spoke is Swanandi. First who spoke is Sanvi.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry about the confusion. Dia and Disha, do you want to share?
No.
Kripalini, do you want to share your understanding? Namit, do
Yes,
you? Yes, Kripalini.
Like, we should always think about the good things, and we will have choices in our life, and we should like make our choices like thoughtful. Should think before we decide, and we should always decide the good things, and we shouldn't do bad things. We should always think about Krishna, and we should also think about Krishna before we die, so that we reach salvation. Yeah.
Very nice. Excellent, Kripalini. Yes, Snigdha, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, so like the lesson that this shloka gives is that, so like whenever you do small things, or like if you have like any thoughts in your mind, that those thoughts eventually they become actions. And then if you like keep on doing that action, like how in the video they showed, it will become like a habit. So these habits, if they're good, you can continue them, but if they're bad, you should learn how to stop them. Like how you told, ignorance can lead to like incompleteness, and it will eventually make you like, it'll eventually make you like ignorant and all that. And how to defeat it is like using jnana. So that's what I wanted to.
Very nice, Snigdha. Excellent. Namit, would you want to add something to this?
I don't have anything to add, but to sum up whatever they told, and what I understood was that it's very important of what we think at the time of death, and we may like think that it's if we know, for example, we know that it's our last days, and we have been diagnosed of cancer, and we know that it's our last days. Then we may think it's nothing. I'll live for few days, but it's also important of what kind of things we do in these last few days, because it's like something like a long term plan. It will affect us in long term whatever we are doing now, so we should be aware of whatever we are doing, and we should indulge in devotional practices, and all, and we should remember our true nature at the last days. That's what I understood.
Thank you, Namit. That was really nice. You summed the entire thing up. So with the end of this contemplation, so Vijayji, do we have time for another story?
Yeah, sure. We have another 10 minutes of the class.
So to kind of sum up the entire our understanding of the shlokas, we have another exciting story from Namit.
Yes. So it's about the second shloka, the story. Just a minute. So now let's see the story of the three craftsmen. So Manya just told us that we should constantly be thinking of God and whatever the activities we are doing. She explained it really well in the story. So let's understand this through this story. So there were three temple craftsmen. Then once a person went and asked all three of them, what are you doing? Do you like it? And they were all temple craftsmen, and what all they did, like all the craft you can see, it would be craftsmen from it. So then one person asked, what are you doing? Do you like your job? Then the first person whom you can see here, he told, no, like I'm just doing this for my livelihood. I need to take care of my family, kids and all. So I'm just doing this job. It's really not what I really love. I'm just doing it just for my family. Then the second person was asked. He told, I don't care whatever happens. They give me money. it helps me to live. So I don't care whatever happens. This is so boring. I hate doing this the whole day. And then the third person, then they ask the third person. In this picture only you can see how happy he is, and he's not feeling tired, and he's very energetic. We can tell that from the picture. So when he was asked the same question, he told the things which I'll be making, the crafts, it will be offered to God, and it will be used in the temple where God will be there. So I'm really happy that I'm doing such a great job. So this is the way, like in whatever things we are doing, we can always remember God and do it as an offering. For example, you have an exam. At the end of the exam, we need to just think of God and do it as an offering to God. And whatever activities we do, all the good things we do, we need to offer it to God. So that it will be a blessing for us, and it's a really good thing if we remember God. You know why, as Manya explained it. So yeah, the third person was very happy, and he offered whatever he did to God. So this is the way how we can apply it in our daily life. Whatever things you're doing, just remember God and do it as an offering to God. Think if you see our Sanatana Dharma, we see everything is God. That's the beauty. So whatever we do, we should do it as an offering to God. So I hope you enjoyed this story. So now back to
Amit, I have one couple of questions for you.
yeah, yes, sir.
So now imagine, Amit, somebody is bringing some food for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So say, for example, ice cream. How do you like that ice cream to be? Let's say they're bringing you a cone ice cream. When they bring
Yeah.
that cone ice cream to you, if let's say it is broken and all the ice cream is spilled out, and they say, "Oh, I brought it for you," would you still like it?
I would look at their intention, like is it really like to just insult me, or are they doing it really out of their heart?
They may have the intention, but the way they have given it to you, by looking at that, what is the feeling you would get?
Like I would feel that they should have given me something better, but still I would like accept it because they're
That
giving
is separate. That is separate. But when you look at what they give to you, what
yeah.
is the feeling it generates in you?
Like I'll feel why is it like this? It should have been better.
Okay. Now let us reverse the situation. Let's say you are going to meet one of your favorite friend, or maybe somebody that you like,
Yeah.
and you also have to take ice cream. Would you like to take them something that is like broken, already smelling bad, and all not so nicely packed? Would you like to take anything like that?
I know.
Why?
Because I want to offer them whatever is good in good condition.
So that is essentially what Sri Krishna is also teaching you and me. That
Yeah.
in every moment we have a opportunity to offer a gift. To who are we offering?
To Krishna
Ah, and how would you like to offer it?
in the best possible way.
Like Naivedyam. When you do puja, you don't say, for example, you prepare Naivedyam for God. Would you spit in that Naivedyam and then offer it to God?
No.
No, you would first of all be very clean. You would make with full of bhakti. You would want to offer the best possible, is it not?
Yeah.
That is what Sri Krishna is here teaching you and me. That whatever you and I are doing, every moment we have an opportunity to offer a gift.
Yeah.
Are we presenting the gift in the best possible way? Is a question that you and I have to ask. Thank you, Namit.
Thank you. So now I pass it on to Manya.
That was a really nice story, Namit, that also kind of summed up and helped us understand the shlokas better. Now, like we always do, the most joyful part of our sessions, let's chant Sri Krishna mantra. I'd request all of you to please hold your hands, close your eyes, keep your back straight, and chant along with me with your mics on mute. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. With that, we come to an end of this shloka contemplation. Thank you.